Hey, welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Spike Eskin with me from WIP in Philly. Real funny Tom Papa is here, my buddy, good comedian, and joining us on the phone is a guy who's always relevant in my heart, but very relevant this week because his old team, the Baltimore Ravens, somehow pulled out a squeaker out of the Big Easy and got them their second ring in their franchise history, but their first ring came on the back of this guy, Tony Siragusa. Tony, what's up, man?
Hunter, how are you, my friend?
Hey, man, congratulations. Your Ravens, it's got to be a fun time.
I told you, I picked a score and everything. You know what? I thought it was going to be a blowout till the lights went out. What'd you do? Or something, and all of a sudden they shut the power down, or what?
Well, there's a lot of people who know me will tell you I usually get stuff right on the money. My prediction was 49ers 38, Ravens 10. And, I'm not kidding. No, but what was the score you had? You had it by a field goal, right?
Yeah, by three. I had it by three.
By three in a high-scoring game. Yeah. So
I had it 28-31. I think I had.
Yeah. Well, you're right, though. I think
I told you also if the Ravens went and kept Kaepernick confined and controlled the middle of the field, which they did the whole game, it was they had a really good shot. But if Kaepernick went out and running, and you know what, they did it in the first half, but in the second half. They let Kaepernick out, and that's where they scored all the big points.
I got to tell you, Kaepernick really looked flustered in the beginning. That taking nothing away from Ed Reed, but that interception he threw to Ed Reed, my God, even Reed couldn't believe he had it. I mean, that was the worst throw I've ever seen in my life. That
was horrible.
Yeah, they really had the kid flustered, but that blackout, he got a chance to get himself together again, right?
Yeah, exactly. People don't really stress how much momentum really means in a game. It means everything,
especially football
like that. Things keep going, really moving fast, and to go and have that little bit of extra time to calm down and relax a little bit really showed up, I think, in the second half.
Now, what do you think about a guy like Ed Reed? Do you think he's going to retire?
You know what, man? Ed is a true professional. I texted him yesterday, and the guy's just quiet. He's really just as big a leader, I think, as Ray Lewis is on the defense. I think they all look towards him and as a leader and try to, follow him back there. And, he had the big turnover to go and keep those guys going. But, I think that I think he comes back. He's got too much time left. And, as me and Artie, there's a lot of money to be made in the NFL. So I think he comes back.
When you're watching the game and the blackout happens, there's been a lot of criticism of the sideline guys for not going and finding things out or talking to players. What's it like if you're in that situation? What's that like? What's the first thing you think of when the lights go out?
Well, everyone I talked to thought about terrorism, to tell you the truth.
Right.
The lights going out at the Super Bowl. They cover every angle there is possible, but come to find out it was transformer or something blue. But a lot of people know this, but during the week they had a lot of meetings about power outages. The NFL had it because they had one. Actually, I think it was on the Tuesday before the Super Bowl, and they actually brought some generators in and were a little concerned about the power grid being able to hold up. Because let me tell you something. With the halftime show, the speakers, there's a lot of stress put on a lot of the wires in these stadiums that are aging a little bit. I remember having a game in Oakland at the stadium there, and our truck completely had to get shut down and restarted because it blew 10 fuses that are in place. So that's something that they really obviously they're going to go and look at. Having a Super Bowl next year at Giant Stadium. Remember, Giant Stadium just opened up. Remember the big blackout they had there?
Yeah.
During the play, right?
Right.
Yeah, during the play, and so I'm sure it's going to be another thing that they try to make sure it doesn't happen next year.
Are you at an age now where when the lights started to flicker, for a minute there you think it's you? Because whenever that happens, I'm like, whenever there's a fluorescent light, I'm always like,
about somebody grew up in somebody. You know what I'm saying? the derelict that I hang out with, they would have probably been all up somebody's shirt that was, that's the kind of guys I hang out with.
It was an excellent opportunity for sexual assault. It was.
It was, denying everything.
A lot of babies made in the upper decks.
And I'll tell you what, I was in the upper deck. There'll be a lot of ugly babies. A lot of ugly babies. Hey, so now you got your Ravens. You got 2 rings in a dozen years. When are they going to wake up and put Art Modell in the Hall of Fame? How do you not put him in there? That is really a crime, man.
Oh, my God. How about Art Modell, Michael Strahan gets in?
Yeah.
Nothing against Sapp. I think Sapp was a good player. But Warren Sapp goes in before Michael Strahan.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
You gotta, listen, Warren Sapp, he was a good player. I'm not going to, but was he a great player? Did he really go and, Hall of Fame worthy this early? I don't think so. I think there's a lot more guys ahead of him that should have got into the Hall of Fame, before he did.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was good, Paul.
I think he's a good player. Could he have gotten in? Yeah, but it's almost like the Hall of Fame is getting so diluted, putting 7 guys in every year. Back in the day, they used to put 3 or 4, or who they really thought were super standouts. I mean, I just think that it's a joke again. It's almost like the Pro Bowl. Back in the day, the Pro Bowl they used to tackle. Now all of a sudden it's a powder puff game. It's a joke. I really lost a lot of respect for the Hall of Fame by who they put in and who they didn't put in. I think Art Modell, if it wasn't for Art Modell, this league wouldn't even be around. I mean,
Right.
He was the guy who initiated the first, collective agreement with all the networks. I mean, he put the NFL on television.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Not put that guy in the Hall of Fame?
Why do you think they didn't put him in?
I don't know. Maybe because he moved the team, they didn't want to upset Cleveland anymore.
Right.
Shit,
Well, now listen, hey, he's a guy who's got a lot of controversy around. You brought up something that I want to talk about. I'm glad you did because I forgot about it when I talked to the last guy we were talking to from the NFL. The Pro Bowl. Well, it's a joke at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. None of the players who play in the Super Bowl can play in it. Why even play the game? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. But the whole thing is they have to play it or have to, at least acknowledge it because that's one of the top things about going to the Hall of Fame is being voted into the Pro Bowl and be a Pro Bowl player. They feel like they have to give these players something. I mean, just send them a ring or send them a check for $50,000 and I think it's so embarrassing. I did the Pro Bowl maybe last or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like, a guy would run the ball and everybody was like 2-hand touch.
Right.
It was embarrassing. It wasn't even like flag football.
Well, that's
Flag football. They used to at least they hug you around the waist, and the beach ball was more aggressive on run plays than the Pro Bowl.
Now listen,
what we should do is we should talk to DirecTV and just have the Pro Bowl guys come to the beach ball. Let's have a game.
Tone, you bring up an excellent point. Now, my performance at the Beach Bowl, I don't know if you noticed, late in the game, Tom Arnold and I had Terrell Owens double teamed, and we kept him under containment. And I think that is one of the reasons we were able to pull out a 1-point victory. Your thoughts?
I think so, too. I think Tom Arnold sweat so much. I was so worried about that guy having a heart attack. I mean, he's a nice guy and all, but Jesus. I mean, he ran like maybe 20 yards.
Yeah.
The guy was drenched like he just came through out of a storm.
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to talk
he's
like.
He's got to go to the doctor.
No, he's got to go to the doctor. Hey, I don't want to talk like I'm a young Jack LaLanne because I'm not. But I got to tell you, I felt like an Olympic athlete standing next to Tom Arnold. And he's the nicest guy.
First of all.
He's a real nice guy, Tom. He's a real nice guy. I've met him a bunch of times now, but he is pale and sweaty to the point where you're right. He's got to go to the doctor.
He does. Something definitely wrong. Something's not working. Something happened to him. I don't know what it is, but you don't sweat like that and are that pale and healthy. It just doesn't work.
And we know he's been cleaning for a while. He's very jumpy. Could you imagine him on coke, that guy? Him on cocaine must have been...
If he was on coke back in the day when he looked good, he should go back on it.
Well, I don't know if he ever looked what you call good.
Maybe he'll look like he's living.
I'm just saying he's jumpy anyway and pale and sweaty on blow. He must be, like most people, if you're around someone who's on cocaine and you're not on cocaine, you want to throw the person out the window. I mean, they're the most annoying person on the planet. Tom is sort of like that not on cocaine. If you add coke to him, I mean, you gotta want to shove him in a bazooka and shoot him out the other side.
You know you're in bad shape when Roseanne's looking at you and thinking, "What a mess."
Yeah. Listen, I mean, you friends with the guy, Artie? You know that?
No, I do like Tom
He's
a lot.
a nice
He's
guy.
a real nice guy. I mean, that's why I'm concerned for
How
him.
did he ever hook up with Roseanne? Did he ever tell you that story? Like, did he like see her and say, "Oh yeah, I gotta have that"? Like, what was he?
How did he ever hook up with Roseanne? He said
used to
yes.
tour together.
Yeah, right. They toured together. They were comics that
Club
were
comics.
together in the clubs, and I don't know, sparks flew, and before you know it, he's got a $40 million house in Hollywood Hills.
Okay,
Yeah.
now we got the answer. Okay.
They were a genuine couple, and it lasted through her sitcom, and
Oh, my
and
God.
look, he got one back for the fellas. That is most guys get screwed in a divorce.
Taking that. He's the ultimate wingman. He must have lost a bet or something on that.
Nah, he won big time. No, but I love how he's one of those guys who, while they were married, said, "Listen, it's not about money, success. Roseanne is always, Roseanne, the type of woman she is, physically, has always been my type of woman. That's just how I like a woman." And then they get a divorce, and his next 3 girlfriends look like young Heather Locklear.
Whose type of woman is that? Like,
Tom
really?
Arnold.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of girls BS me too. Like girls I've met since I've been in show business, they say, "Oh no, it's not because you're in show business. I just like your type of you're my type of guy." And I'm like, "Really? So I guess you have posters when you were a kid of Jim Belushi up. You didn't have John Stamos up on them." So hey, what do you think about?
How did you enjoy the game? How did you enjoy New Orleans and the game and everything?
No, I've been in New Orleans before. I love it there. But DirecTV took care of me. Me and my girl were on a 50-yard line, and we saw the whole game. It was great. That blackout was odd. Like everyone was crying terrorism a little bit up in the upper deck, but with anything nowadays. But I never really got that scared of it. I thought it was a great game in the end, even though it was sloppy. At least it was close. You like a close game. What do you think about your boy Flacco now? Is Flacco going to get 20 mil or what?
You know what? He should get whatever. I was not. I got to admit this. Going into the game, I was not a big Flacco fan.
Right.
I really was like, man, this guy has been up and down. Never really solidified. The quarterback position. But I'll tell you what. I always thought he had great receivers, which he did. He has good receivers around him. But he really played an exceptional game. I got to give it to the kid. He won me over at the Super Bowl, and it took that win for him to go and get my attention. But I was happy to see him. I think Anquan Bolden. I just think that the whole team really rallied around him. And a lot of people don't remember. They lost their offensive coordinator. Their offensive coordinator got fired. A couple months earlier.
Well, explain that.
The guy had had a little bit of change to do and handled it extremely well. You got to take your hat off to the kid. And I think he does deserve $20 million. I don't know about being the highest paid quarterback in the league. I mean, he won the Super Bowl. He's the best right now.